So you want to make cake pops, huh? Well, let's make cake pops. I have no desire to make a Fruity Pebbles cake pop, but if you do, Fruity Pebbles has their recipe posted. The way I didn't have to buy any, and it's already open because I make a Fruity Pebbles cheesecake. You should check that out. Okay, here are the materials that I use, the methods I use. That is my disclaimer. You find what works best for you, but lots of people, when I was talking about what happened in cake pop world on TikTok, had expressed that they would love to learn how to make cake pops. Well, I would love to teach you. That's why we get along. All right, Pop-Tarts. So here's what I use. Let's talk about the actual cake itself. You can make it from a box, you can make it from scratch, whatever you choose. If you'd like to make it from scratch, I share tons of recipes in my cake playlist. If you want to make it from a box, that's okay too, but step number one is bake your cake. Mine is in the oven. I'm doing chocolate today. You can do whatever flavor you would like. All right, now, when it comes to melting the wafers and such, which we'll talk about in a second, you can melt it in containers that are shorter or taller, depending on what it is you're dipping. Silicone bowls or cups, check Amazon has a great many of them, or like silicone measuring cups almost. Those are fantastic. Or you can use what I use. This is the Wilton Melting Pot. I've had it for 7 years. It is well loved. It's like $30 maybe. Looks like this, comes with an insert, and you can buy extra inserts, which I do. This is 2 settings and it keeps things warm. So it keeps it at a dippable consistency for longer, and I can just sit and dip and add and dip however I need to. You don't have to have this, but I find it really helpful. It doesn't get super hot to the touch, and then it's always right there at my fingertips. Let's talk wafers. I used to use this brand, Sweet Tooth Fairy. Tasted better than Wilton, melted better than Wilton, no longer findable in my area and can't find them anywhere online. So I pivoted to Merkins. This is just their white wafers. They melt incredible. They coat very nicely, and they do colors in them as well, and the colors are more vibrant than I've seen in other brands. Lots of people use almond bark. You can do that as well. I choose not to just because of allergies, and this is what I'm comfortable with, so that's what I do. Now, you'll need, of course, cake pop sticks. Make sure that they are like paper, not plastic, because the plastic ones slide right out. I use 6-inch because that is the length that I like. I feel like 4-inch is a little too short, and then they're like little stubby things, and anything longer than this is annoying. Bags and ties. If my Amazon affiliate link, if I could ever get my Amazon affiliate account to work, I would just put everything in a little album for you. But I've got these off of Amazon. If you want to DM me, I can probably send you where I got these. These are, I believe, 5-inch bags, and then your twist ties. Now, I don't want my cake pops to be flat. I want them to be perfectly round cake pops, which means I don't want to like dip them and then put them over and let them cool, because you get a flat bottom on them. So I use a block of styrofoam and just push the sticks into it. They cool and set super quickly, and then when I'm bagging them, I can just slide the bag right over top, cool it up, and I never have to touch the cake pop. So those are the materials I use. Let's talk method. It's the next day because things got crazy after I filmed the first part. That's fine. We're gonna do our cake pop thing now. All right, for this next part, there are 2 ways you can do it. You can do the steam method, which is when your cake comes out of the oven and it is hot, dump it into your mixer bowl or bowl with a hand mixer and beat it until it becomes like Play-Doh, okay? Lots of people prefer that method. Of course, that's not the method I use. I use the old school method, which is you got your cake, you break it up. I do use my mixer for this often, but this is a small amount. I can do it by hand, and I add a little bit of buttercream. I only add buttercream until it becomes a Play-Doh like consistency and I don't want it to be too soft. I don't love the steam method sometimes because I think sometimes it's too soft. And since I like to do the traditional round cake pops as opposed to sliced coins or the cakesicles most often, I find that I like to do that. However, either one will get you cake pops. So I'm gonna break up my cake, add in a little bit of buttercream, and the other reason that like all the cake poppers, I'm pretty sure I'm like the only one that still adds buttercream to mine, like the steam method, is because they all say cake pops are just so sickeningly sweet. It's just so sweet with the icing and the cake. It's just so sweet. Not if your ratios are right. I'm not a cake pop eater, but I don't mind one with buttercream, because if you have the right ratios and your buttercream that you make isn't crazy sweet, you're gonna be okay. All right, so, but like you can see how moist my cake is, that it already holds together, and this was baked yesterday. But this is also, cake pops are a great way to use up cake scraps, or if you mess something up or you think you have kind of like an ugly layer of cake that you're making for something, it can always become cake pops and live its best life. So I'm gonna start with that much buttercream. I don't know how much that is. Add in some at a time, mix it up, and just enough until it holds its shape without seeing it like crack. Okay, this is what it looks like. Here's my test to see if I have enough buttercream in it. Take some, squish it back and forth in your hand, and then roll it in a ball. If it stays in a ball without cracks, you're good. If you've got major groups like that, that's gonna fall right apart. I'm just gonna add a little bit more. I have so far added about the amount of buttercream that I would put on one cupcake. And I am mixing that in to a 6-inch baked cake that's chocolate. It's really not that much buttercream. We try again. I can already tell though. I can already tell. Look at her. Yes. Now, for my actual cake pops, I take a tablespoon, a literal tablespoon, pack it in there. Make it so it's pretty level. It can mound over the top just a smidge. See that? Use my thumb to pop it out. Now I take this, go back and forth like I showed you earlier, roll it into a ball, and I place it on a cookie sheet. Like this, and I'll do rows of them. And then once I'm done with them, I pop them in the fridge for 20 minutes, make sure all of my dipping things are melted and ready to go, and then come back and we get to cake popping. All right, friends, it's cake pop time. All right, I have my candy melts melted. I've added a little bit of shortening that helps thin it out a little, which gets you a nice even coat, but taps off quicker, and I just feel like kind of coats it better. And then you get a nice thin coat as well, which also helps with the it's too sweet mentality. So here we are. I've chosen like this royal-ish blue. And we're going in with patriotic sprinkles. I have sprinkles here in a cup with a spoon, because you want to dip them, sprinkle them right away, and then put them in the block. Now, also you can use coconut oil here if you want instead of shortening. I just don't. I always have shortening and also allergies. Okay, sticks into your candy melts. Words are hard. And into the cake pop. The cake pops have just come out of the fridge. Now, let me move this one. Do not stick the cake, or the stick obviously all the way down through the cake bowl. You don't want it to come out the other end. But you can do that. Go through and do them all. By the time you're done putting the stick in all of them, the ones at the front where you started will be hard enough that you can use those to dip first. You just need a little bit of the stuff, and don't worry, your coat will cover the little like stopper looking thing that's created. You don't need a lot, but this helps the cake pop stay in place. If you've added too much buttercream, or your cake is too warm, or if you're doing flavors, if your ratio of something else is a little bit off, when you go to dip it, it's gonna drop right off. And like I said, I dip it this way. You can dip it in a container, in one of those silicone bowls because they're easily heatable and they retain heat better. That is just how I do it. But if so, you can just pop them back in the fridge. I like to work pretty quickly once I start doing these because they're chilled and I want them to stay cold. But if I get one or two that I feel like are gonna drop off the stick, I just pop them back in the fridge and then you'll be good to go. I got 24, because this one's a bit smaller, out of my 6-inch cake pan. I usually get like 32 to 35 out of a 9-inch round. It also depends like how high you make them, but that's about what I get. So I can kind of figure how much they will be. As far as how many candy melts you need, just melt a bunch down. They're meltable. You can always save it when it's cool. I can pop it right out of here because the inside is silicone. I can pop it right out and just throw it in like a sandwich bag and save it and melt it back down. Nothing wrong with that. Now, they have been sitting on the tray, so they're gonna have a tiny little flatness where they came in contact with the tray. Let me show you. See, like that. So I just take my hand and just squeeze the sides ever so gently to give it a more rounded look. And then I go, let me pull this back, in and kind of back and forth. Keep it on the edge. Tap it at an angle. I like to tap at an angle and then it will all fall off and I'll slowly rotate. Nice and glossy. You can leave it like this, or because America's having a birthday and everything is better with sprinkles. So I just tip it over the bowl, put my sprinkles on. I will warn you that the sprinkle mixes with the big chunky balls and the like gold and silver rods aren't going to stick to a cake pop like this. There she is. We'll do another one. But they're great for cakesicles because you can lay the cakesicles down, drizzle them, and then place the sprinkles on top, and they look absolutely superb. But they just don't stick on something like this. But like the coins, if you're decorating them flat, or the cakesicles, absolutely. Now we're going to tap away. I wish you could see everything more. You're like, I thought you were going to teach me how to make cake pops. I can't see shit. And then I just kind of twirl it. The little tail kind of disappears. And then sprinkles. Angle. Start at the bottom. And then go to the top. If you're using nonpareils, well, good for you, because they make a mess. But I also do it on top of the tray so it catches everything. There's our cake. Oh, there went a sprinkle. Oh, we got another jumper. Got it. And these are going to cool super quickly. Oh, I missed a little on top. Got it. One more thing, because I know this has been the longest video ever on earth. If after you dip them and they're cooling, you notice that your coating starts to crack, that means one of two things. One, your cake pops were too cold, aka you popped them in the freezer. Or two, your liquid that you're dipping it into is too hot. Or three, a combination of 1 and 2. So that's just a little troubleshooting. They'll look perfect at first, and then about 5 minutes later, they'll crack. That's why. Anyway, that's how I make cake pops. Those are my methods. You already have my recipes. Let me know in the comments what else you would like me to teach you. I am happy to share whatever knowledge I have, and if I don't have the answer, hopefully I'll try and point you towards someone who does have the answer. Anyway, all right, Pop-Tarts, get cake poppin'. Have a good one.